3, 2, 1, go. All right, let's try to make a head, human head. I'm gonna try to do it just like I did this one, but we'll see. We'll see what we get. So first, obviously, we have our sphere. Let me make sure I'm in orthographic. Okay, so we have our sphere. I'm just gonna validate it. Regular sphere. So first, I'm just gonna use move. Make it quite big. And just stretch this part down. Okay. So then we have something like that, but the front looks, you know, it looks like enough like a head, cartoon head. Okay, what else do we need to do here? Let's stretch out the back. Make sure you have symmetry on too. We'll stretch out the back. And the chin should be forward a bit. So I kind of want to make a nice clean slope here. I'll probably have to make it a little bigger. Actually looks a little bit weird from the left. Make sure I'm looking at the left side, and then make sure the head looks all right. Okay, so usually there's the eyes kind of go in, like the eye socket would kind of go in, and then there's like a flat forehead area. It's a bit hard to get that part flat, but maybe something like that. Still looks decent. Still looks okay. You can stretch the head out more in the back. Stretch this out a little bit. So I want to make, I'm going to use clay and sub. And I just want to make some eye socket areas. I'm gonna squirt you every time you come in here after curfew. You know better. That cat knows much better. Ooh, you know what? I did something else before. You know, I do want to stretch this out a little bit more, like that. Let's take mask and make sure symmetry's on. And I just want to make like an eye socket area, something like this. So then I'm gonna invert it, and with the gizmo, first I'm gonna take the red sphere and shrink it inwards like this, and then back a little bit like that. So I'm gonna clear this, and I'm just gonna smooth this out a bit, but pretty gently, because you can see the clay is obviously very malleable. But I'm okay with that. Take flatten this out here. There we go. It's a nice arch. Okay, so yeah, it's looking decent. Again, I mean, I don't really do the photorealistic all my stuff is always going to be kind of cartoony. I'm like so not in the business of trying to match things to be like photorealistic, or anatomic, I should say, which I, spent years doing when I used to draw. So now I want to add a nose, but for the nose and lips, I just want to kind of add mass to the clay and then sculpt them into the shape. So I'm going to use inflate. Yeah, I think I'm going to use inflate. And for the nose, I think it's going to be, oh, you know what? Let's save. Let's voxel remesh this. Give it a little oomph. We'll do it at 180. Oop, can smooth if we need to. Just make sure symmetry's on. So we'll go back to inflate, and let's just inflate like a little nose like this. I know it looks super cartoony, but it'll melt into the face when you smooth. I wonder if that's too low. It might be too low. So let's take flatten and just flatten out the underside of this nose. What is up with my flatten tool? I'm pretty sure I changed everything back to where it was. Oh, maybe it's this depth masking thing? No, I think I had that off. I tried to figure out how to fix my flatten tool, which is way more annoying than it used to be. It just like doesn't want to do much. Got real lazy. So I'll flatten that a little bit, smooth it out. And I think that's pretty good, but maybe I want to drag this a little bit and give it a little more nose-ish shape. See, that's so strange. Like I'm literally just trying to flatten here, and it makes those marks above the nose. But I want the nose to be a very specific shape. And this is not it. Oh, it's not too bad. Let me smooth it out some more. It's not too bad, actually. Let's do a little test on the nose. It's not bad. I still wonder if I made the nose too low, though. Hard to tell. Also, let me push this in more. Because sometimes, like, that kind of really helps the profile. Yeah, I kind of like that. But also you have to remember to widen out the head so that it looks good in different angles. Like the top looks a little weak. Gotta make that cranium a little bit wider in the back. And And also you have to look out for things like this where it'll sort of get flat. So I just want to make sure the head looks right from all angles. Okay, so for the mouth, I usually use clay. And if you want to be safe, you can add a layer. So let's add lip. So we can use clay. We don't need sub. So let's just do a regular kind of curved shape like this. Again, I know it looks weird, but I'm gonna have to be really gentle smoothing it out. And then we'll take clay again and just add the bottom lip. But notice how I make it higher on top, and then I use less pressure as I get to the bottom. So then I'll smooth all this out. And now we do see an issue with the chin. It almost looks like everything is too low. I wonder if I can pull it up with move. Maybe I have to pull this down some. Let's see if I can add some chin with clay. I got my rental car today for Costa Rica. That looks pretty good. Okay, what looks off to me? I mean, it's interesting, it's stylized, but it is a bit fun to just sort of have to figure out what's wrong. So one thing is that the forehead is a little bit more squarish. So I'm going to take flatten and flatten out the forehead area. Just going to make a square for the forehead. Okay, and now I want to make some, you know, like we have like the jawbone that goes to our chin. And by doing some of these like anatomical things, sometimes they can help with the shape. And that's the excuse me, that's the good part about actually having some knowledge of anatomy. Not even some knowledge, like some underlying understanding of anatomy. I think that's a better way to put it. And by that, like the reason I put it that way is because I mean, not like to say that I'm, you know, the best artist when it comes to, you know, realism or anatomy or anything like that, but I guess this forehead is too big. But you know, I mean, obviously I went to art school. I spent a lot of time doing life drawing, things like that. And life drawing is just so amazing for drawing skills. Like it's pretty phenomenal. Like I remember being in art school, and I remember looking at like my art, books and stuff, and just the improvement from from life drawing. It's just like it's insane how much that improves your drawing, your overall drawing skills. And I said it like in the Nomad group. It's like I think drawing is just such a useful foundation. Excuse me. And it's so beneficial in so many ways. Okay, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Okay, what don't I like about the nose? Let's figure that out. I think it's just I think it just needs a little more. So let's see. Let's see what this looks like. Just add some more. See what happens if we flatten off these sides a bit. Oh, we're getting those oh man. Man, I miss those days when you could use the flatten tool normally. What if I turn off accumulate stroke? What does that do? I think that's the bit that annoys me. Is if you make the flatten too small, it almost like doesn't even do anything. I think that's the most annoying part. Because like you just like don't want it to dimple, but it's like that's what it wants to do. Is just dimple and ruin whatever you're working on. It's a butt monkey. That's what it is. That's the technical term. It's a butt monkey. Let's see if I can flatten these areas out a bit. Yeah, it works better when it's like big. Smooth that out a little bit inside there. Okay, so now cheekbones. So when I draw, if I was to draw this, okay, we have this. I would make a line here for that. Cheekbones though. So I think the cheekbones would be about here. So what's the best way to do that? We could try move or drag, and then try dragging this to the spot, like maybe out some. I mean, I think that makes sense. But I'm gonna do it from the whole cheek because I don't want her to look. I want to have some pudgy cheek there. I don't want it too like bony. so I'm gonna hit drag. Maybe drag this back a little bit. So we'll use crease in there, but it's just, it feels like it was just sticking out too much. I think that's okay. So let's try to shape some of these things now. So maybe we'll start here and with crease. So notice the shape I'm making. It's kind of a tricky shape. It's a little bit of a curve. This is obviously like the dimples in the mouth here. That little spot would be darker if we like it. And then that little curve there as well. That little tiny, I like that. I kind of wish that the lips were a little wider, so I'm going to see if drag can help me out there. Just to bring the mouth out a little wider. But we want the lip to be flattened. We want the underside of the top lip to be flattened out. Okay, that's pretty good. I can probably use pinch and pinch it as well to really get that separation. I'm not too sure about this. I think I would actually prefer to just go like that. So maybe I can just use move. I'm gonna have to use drag. But I just wanna, actually it looks okay because it kind of looks like the philtrum. You can look that up, PHILTRUM. I think that's the right term. Okay, I still kind of want, oh, we're getting there. There you go. I like those little details. They really make a difference. At least I think so. I'm gonna take a little bit off the smooth tool because I really like how the lip looks. Let me save. I actually wanted it to be more cartoony, but here I am adding more and more details. But hopefully this is useful to some of you. So I'm going to use clay and sub, and you know, next to our eye there's like a, it's kind of like a deep set area. So I just want to get started on that. Just kind of dig that out a little bit and then smooth it out. Okay, so this bottom lip, it actually looks all right, but it's unfortunate that this wasn't up higher. So I need to use clay. Oop, not sub though. I need to use clay and make that bit higher. Make sure you have symmetry on. Okay. Add a little bit underneath too. So let's see how this looks. I'm going to be very gentle when I smooth this out. Oh, it looks all right, but not great. I think I need more clay on the sides. Okay, that's not bad. It's a little bit better, but I think I want, again, well, first let's use a little trick. Let's use crease and sub, make it a little bit bigger, and let's make this line for the bottom lip. We can smooth it back out a little bit, but it'll just kind of give it a little more of a bottom lip ridge. And maybe we take flatten and just flatten out right underneath this. I was hoping the flatten tool would get more in there, but it doesn't look like it wants to, unfortunately. Maybe I need to voxel remesh again. I think I gotta remesh higher. Higher? I don't like how much I lose from the top lip. It's kind of annoying. What happens if I subdivide it and then voxel remesh it? We still lose a little bit of that, but we can pinch it again, so I guess it's fine. I just don't like when the app acts like a butt monkey. So let's see if we can dig some more. Yeah. Okay. Usually flatten makes a little bit more of a indentation, but just doesn't want to do anything today. So we use clay and sub, and I guess we'll lower the intensity and just kind of trying to, I just wanted the smallest amount of area underneath that lip. Usually I could get it with just flatten, but it's okay. All right. It's just a pressure thing. Maybe I just need to press really hard. I just want to make sure that the chin is like smooth. I want everything to like flow smoothly. Maybe I'll add a little bit of clay here. I wonder if let me just mess around with the nose a bit. It's interesting how much of a different look you can get just by the shape of the nose. might be a little bit too broad here. Doesn't look very feminine. I think that might be a little bit better. Okay. I don't even know how I want to do the eyes. And I guess I'll just do them like I normally would, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it works. Okay. It's kind of interesting to figure out where you want the eyes to go. I think that might be okay. And also how deep they should be as well. Maybe that actually looks better. So if that actually looks, for some reason that feels a bit more right. So I'm going to push in the eye sockets a little bit more and see if that helps. Okay, so I'm gonna try some things out here. I'm gonna clone this whole mirror. This one can be lids. Let's clone this again. This one can be eye whites. And this can be P1 for pupils. So the lids, let's clone that and let's hide one. Let's go to the one that's not hidden. So I think I just want to trim this. So let's validate it. We didn't validate the mirror, we just validated the sphere. But let's trim it. Oh, I feel like it's too far apart. I feel like they're too far apart. I wonder if I can just take all of these. Okay. All right, so we'll take this one and we'll trim a rectangle. Yeah, let's just go for the trim. So now that we have that, I'm gonna make them a little bit bigger. Maybe even tilt them back. Okay, so now this sphere, I might just do the opposite. So I'll validate that. I'm just going to name this upper lid. This can be the lower lid. Trim front. So I'm just going to trim. I wish I could just get them. I want to trim this one sort of parallel to the other one. I don't know why, it just feels right. Yeah, maybe something like that. So now this lower lid, let's make sure we're on the, oh, why are we on the eye whites? Oh, I must have touched it. Let's bring the eye lid out. She does not look happy. So we'll open this up. Stretch it out a little bit if you need to. I'm just rotating it so it kind of like fits better. I'm going to take it off of a line so I can move it down this way a little bit. Okay, this isn't too bad. The only problem is this lid isn't really, I think this lid should be down. Whatever I just did was terrible. It was horrific. Okay, so what's a better way to kind of achieve what well, first of all, I think her eyes should be wider open, but they need to be rotated. And it actually might be okay because I think we're gonna merge these lids with the rest of the face anyway. So that might actually be okay. But let me try drag. I want to make sure I'm on the lid. I wonder if I can drag this down. Oh yeah, that's better. That's much better. That's actually all I was trying to do, was drag that bit down. She looks so crazy. Maybe are they too big? Sometimes it's hard to tell. And the head is a little too cone-ish. So I'm going to pull this out, I think. Oh, the head is looking very cone-ish. It's like the top of my head. This is also too much here. Smooth this out. How do I reset this tool? Okay, that looks fairly decent. Smooth that out again. See what it looks like if I flatten this nose. Okay. Hello? McFly? I'm still using smooth. I like that. It would have been nice if it would have flattened straight, but I guess we can't have everything we want. Okay, let's see if I can push these dimples in, these lip dimples, just back into the face a little bit without making a huge. I really don't want such a it looks creepy, doesn't it? I think it's the eyes, though, mostly. I think it's the eyes and the shape of this is creepy. The forehead's creepy. But that's how you learn to make things look good, by having things not look good and figuring out why. Okay, maybe one of the issues with the, what is this? So this is the head. And I don't need layers, so I'm gonna bring all that together. What is this sphere? I don't know what that is, but it's creepy. Oh, that's the other head. Okay. So here are the lids. I think both of these need to be remeshed. And this was the pupils. So let's validate those and use our gizmo. We'll shrink it. Whoa, how creepy does that look? Beep beep Richie. So I'm going to shrink these up so they're not so wild looking. Wait a minute. Oh, I guess the spheres aren't perfectly straight. I did move the original spheres, so I guess that makes sense. Big eyes. I wonder if I can pull this up some. Are they a little too close together? It's tricky. Because they should be, but not too much. No, she feels like she's looking straight at me. She just has big eyes. Let me save. And super big bottom part. Excuse me. I burped. It smelled like ice cream. I had Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream before. That's the problem. When it goes on sale, When it goes on sale, I'm no longer playing games. Any of them. No more games. What happens if we move these back into the skull? Oh, that's better, right? They look way less bulgy. I think that looks better. Okay, so eyelashes. Let's see how they look. I'm just gonna go ahead and use curve and snap. Fudge it. So they kind of would be start here and then go along there and along there to there. Okay, so we'll do a good old spline. Radius twice. This side can be smaller. This side can be larger. And I think that's it. So I'm going to try to put this on the edge. You know what? Let's add a node here. Let's add something a little fun. So maybe I do need to add another one. That way I can do a little bit of this business. Maybe I'll even do a little of that. Okay, maybe it's a little too much. Right? A little too much. So maybe something like that. This, however, we need to find a nice way to blend this in and just kind of have it go bye-bye right on the edge. I don't know if I want it all the way down or if I am okay with it. I think all the way down might be too much, but it might not be. That's the dilemma. It might actually be perfect. I'm going to turn snap off. That way I can put this into the mesh. But I don't want any of it showing. I can probably just smooth this bit. All right, let's go back to this and maybe I'll add another node. Maybe not. I'll just slide this one down a bit. I want to bring it out because I don't want to see the... Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I do kind of feel like this is a little bit too... I want to... Something like that is better. Yeah. Yeah. Let's save. What time is it? 12:04. Right, so everything's looking good. I think I just saved. So let's validate these. I think they look great. And do I want to voxel remesh the lids and the skin? I feel like I should. I should have given her a little bit of an expression, more of an expression. I still could, actually. If I did want to, I would take both of these. I'm going to take the tube out and give it its own mirror. voxel remesh these and then uninstance. This would be left lash. This would be the right lash. They don't even need to be in that blue thing anymore. Okay, so if I did want to add some expression, what I might do is take this lid and move it up. Oh, it still moves the other one too. Butt monkey. So, oh, that's right, because it's still in a mirror. So let's bring this out and then give it its own mirror. Number 1, validate uninstance, yes. So this is the upper lid. So now I would take this and just move it up, like so. Maybe even a little more. I would take the head, turn off symmetry, and then I would raise this up. Maybe even push it back a little more. And then I'd have to take the eyelash and try to be smooth with it and bring it up there. And since I've done that, maybe I want to, maybe I should not do any more and then paint it and then make the moves when I paint it. But I don't know, it's still tricky. You kind of want to get all this stuff done when you can. I don't know why, I feel like when I drag, it's like leaving like that mark. Crease. So now they're not mirrored anymore, so just gonna be a little more careful. There's a little bit too much space, I think, also between the nose and the lip, but I'm not certain. So I wonder if I can pull that out a bit. And also the nose. There's not really that much nostril. Let's see if I can fake some nostrils here. I think I can still use symmetry. It would be something like that, but I think I want to puff out the areas that and just use that crease as like a guide to where to make those nostrils. But just nice and soft and gently. And then same thing with smooth, just really nice and soft. And another thing that I really like is I might try to do a sub crease. So my phone that I was recording on, I record on an iPhone 13 Pro or something, I think it is. but sometimes it runs out of storage and then it doesn't alert me. So like I'm just going and going, and it wasn't recording. But anyway, so the only thing that you missed was the eyebrow, which the way that I did that was I just made a new layer. Like I added a new layer, and then I just used clay. And then I went like this, oh, not sub. And I went like this kind of thing to make the shape. And then I used crease with sub to like go like this. To make those, I did some like without sub, just to get that little, you know, like a little different shape. So that's how I made the eyebrows. At first I had actually done them with like another way, but I did it another way, and then I was like, let's try this out. And I think this looks better. It just looks more natural. So that's how I did that. Just use clay and then just use crease with sub and unsub. So, and also obviously I moved the pupils. So like I separated them. So now the pupils are, yeah, so what I did was I cloned them. These were the normal pupils that you saw, and these are still in a mirror. So I just duplicated it, and then with these, I wanted just to have her looking in a different direction. So now I just move these independently. So I think that's pretty much all you missed. I might have like, oh, the thing that I was doing with the nose, I didn't wind up doing. I kind of wanted to have some separation and have like a nice like plane, but it didn't work anyway, so you didn't miss much. So that's it for now. We're gonna come back to this this face, but for now, I think this is good. So yeah, keep drawing, keep sculpting. I will see you all in the next video. I'll see you all in part 2.
Thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, really helps my channel out. Definitely check out my Skillshare classes. I have 2D classes in Procreate and 3D classes in Nomad Sculpt. Keep drawing, keep sculpting, and I'll see you all in the next video.